I'm Petabata, and this is my breakdown for Heavensfall Trio from Bahamut's phase in UCoB. Just like with Quick March, the three bosses will appear on the outside of the arena preparing to do dives through the middle. However, unlike Quick March Trio, it'll only be Bahamut and Twintania diving here, and their dives are baited, so make sure you have everyone stack center to bait these dives. Now, if Nail isn't in the center, then you can do this basically exactly as you would Quick March Trio. Just keep in mind that because Nail isn't diving, and that you are baiting the dives themselves rather than the dragons just diving straight forward across the arena, that the dives will be offset just a little bit and not going straight forward. You just need to rotate around a little bit so one side's a bit more towards Nail and the other side's a bit more away from the dives. Now here's some footage of that. Just like with Quick March Trio, there will be a twister at the end of the dives, so use the enemy list to see the cast bar for when this will happen. Now if Nail is in the center, this means that the dives will be an X or a cross going through the middle, and you will want to utilize the 4 safe spots by having your tanks go to the north, and then 2 of your DPS go to the south. The north safe spot won't be as tight as it is shown in this diagram either. Don't worry about that, it's much more safe. But let's watch some footage of that. Next, a total of 8 towers will spawn around the outside of the arena, and there will be 4 Mega Flare puddles placed randomly on players. The goal here is to each soak a single tower by yourself. Now a pro tip, if someone is dead going into this mechanic and you have LB3 available, I would recommend using tank LB3 and then you'll be able to survive a tower explosion. Otherwise, failing a tower is an instant wipe. Now the strategy for dealing with this is to assign numbers to each player 1 through 8. And it's a good idea to base this off of your quick march positions, kind of like you see here. And then, when counting the towers, start at Nail. If there is a tower under Nail, treat this as 1. Otherwise, find the first tower clockwise of Nail and count them going around clockwise. And when you find the tower that matches your number, you know that this is the tower that you'll have to soak. Now one final thing to note is that the Heavensfall Tower, just like we saw in the transition into Nail phase, will drop down in the center and knock everyone back. So you're going to have to ride the knockback into your designated tower. And in this footage here, just so you know, I was number 4, so I'm going to the 4th tower. Now if your number's 5 through 8, I think a better way to think about this is instead count counterclockwise and count your numbers 1 through 4 that way. So if you're number 8, you're number 1 going counterclockwise from Nail. And this is just so that you're counting less towers to find the one that you have to soak. But of course, use whatever method works for you. And of course, it's important to note that tower positions are completely random and they can be very jank and heavily weighted towards one side of the arena. And I'll show you some footage of that now. And with that done, the only thing left in the mechanic is to run around and avoid these pie pizza shapes, I guess, that the Heavensfall Tower will shoot out, and they'll just rotate around either clockwise or counterclockwise. It's random. You'll want to run around on the outside of the arena too to begin with, because Nail will shoot out some hypernovas, and you'll have to stack in the center at the very end to survive a fireball stack from Twintania. And Bahamut will be casting Giga Flare, so be sure to mitigate as always. And there'll just be 3 flare breaths before moving on to the next trio. On paper, Heavensfall Trio isn't too hard, but it certainly can be in practice, as it requires all 8 people to successfully soak their towers, and anyone failing to do so will result in a wipe. And the mechanic can definitely be a point of prog where most groups get stuck for a little bit. But stick with it and you'll definitely get it down. I hope this guide has been helpful, and thank you for watching.